Ryan, I'm Edward Ryan, Chairman of the Tree Advisory Commission for Newcastle, City of Newcastle. I wanted to call to order the November 3rd meeting, 2025 of the Tree Advisory Commission. And start with the roll call. Please let the record show that all 5 commission members are present. And with that, I believe that we can begin the November 3rd agenda, which I think everybody has. Perhaps not one of our,
Around the chair right there.
I don't want to say guests, but attendees.
Your complainer.
We're here for you, Mr. Pavlicek. We'll begin with the agenda and approval of the minutes. So hopefully, since Marika sent them out in the mail, email, that people have had a chance to look at the minutes of the October meeting. So our first order of business is to review those or discuss the October minutes and take a vote as to whether we accept, amend, or reject those minutes. So we could take a second if you'd like. If anybody would like to look them over. And we could take any comments. Anybody has any? No, not here.
I make the motion that we accept the minutes as presented.
A second.
Is there a motion to second? Did you second?
Yeah.
Art? Okay. I heard a motion to second the motion to accept the minutes as presented for October. So if the record shows that those have been approved unanimously.
No, we didn't vote.
Oh, I thought I said all in favor. Beg your pardon. All of in favor of accepting the October minutes as presented?
Aye.
All opposed? Now the record could show that the minutes approval has passed unanimously. Next, we have item 2 on the agenda, public comments. And we have with us this evening, Mr. Pavlicek, who is the resident and owner of 110 West 6th Street. Mr. Pavlicek was here about the sycamore tree in front of his house, I believe in May. I could be wrong.
It was
about the
April or
record.
May. Yeah.
About May 25?
Yep.
And it was application number 2025-15. It was kind of considered along with a couple other 6th Street applications, Del Coughlin, Klein F, and Mr. Pavlicek. And I don't know if anybody else on the commission would like to speak on that. Feel free. If not, I could try to. Well, first of all, I should ask if you have a question or comment. Obviously, you do, Mr. Pavlicek.
Just a comment. I did bring a copy of the bill and it's on very high grade paper because I forgot to check the printer tray, but I have had to have the plumbing dug out, not the shovel, but I mean the Roto-Rooter come out and punch out the clog, and it's about to happen again. It's $436 every time they come out, and they tell me the prices are going to go up. The quote I had to repair the plumbing going to the street from the last 6 feet to the curb there, they couldn't honor that quote any longer because it's been over 6 months now, and their prices are going to go up again. So they said everybody's doing it. All the prices are going up. It's getting more and more expensive. And it also cost me about $436 every 3 to 4 months to get that punched out. So a couple $1,000 a year.
Okay, thank you for the comment. Maybe we could get a copy of your invoice or receipt.
Should
I could take a picture of it.
Oh, okay. I brought this copy specifically for you guys if you wanted it, or if you want it.
Like to bring it up for us. We could make that part of the record.
Right, but we have already voted on that. We've already voted.
Yeah, we could present this to the
To
city.
take down the tree.
It is going to be taken down? Okay. Oh,
It's not
it's
necessarily.
not necessarily, okay.
Approved the removal pending a determination of whose responsibility it was.
Okay, has that determination been made?
I don't think so.
No, it's my knowledge that determination hasn't been made. It would be made by the Director of Public Works, I believe.
Mhm.
And we could present this to the city, to support your claim
Mhm.
that, that you think it's a city issue. I can't speak for this Director of Public Works per se, but, they sort of, I think, no, I don't want to say this, that they have taken a position that if the homeowner is responsible. I can't say that.
To remove the tree or the plumbing?
No.
Good question.
The plumbing.
I
Yeah.
completely understand that,
But
but
the
I
tree's
need
not
the
on
tree
our
to be
property.
gone before.
And
they
we don't
put the
have
plumbing in.
permission to move a tree that's not on our property.
Yeah.
We understand that. Yeah,
So, yeah,
it has the
that's
city responsible
right.
if it's
If the tree is coming
determined
down,
that the tree should be taken down.
I am more than ready to get the plumbing done. I need the tree gone.
Well, originally we had 4 trees and, that were on Sixth Street that were the subject of complaints.
Hmm.
And the first one was 16, right, Ed? Wasn't it the one that was the Del Codlin? And, that's actually been taken down.
Okay.
And I think that was done by Delmarva. Or.
It was.
Yeah. So I don't know why that one was taken down and not the others, except that we had originally approved the pruning on that tree as well as the removal.
I did get a notice that pruning is coming.
Right.
I have
Oh,
not
you
heard
did?
anything about removal. So, and the pruning hasn't happened yet, but they said that it was going to come in the next month.
Yeah. Well, it seems to me we probably should pursue that some way, find out what it is with the city. where they are
Well,
with
I think, or perhaps the homeowner should contact city administration. And ask what their position is.
Yeah, I was waiting I thought we'd hear from you.
We just started, they did it has been approved to
Oh.
remove the trees by
Okay,
this commission,
okay,
but it hasn't been approved.
And
at the
that's
next level.
pending, research, pending a determination of whose responsibility it is.
Right.
There's also the problem that these trees are right around the wires
Hmm.
and nobody will touch the tree, even to prune around the wires unless the tree branches are 10 feet away. So it has to be the company that's doing the wires. And I think that was why Delmarva originally did that. They pruned the tree around the wires and by that time it was pretty much a stump. So, I think they continued it, but it might have been the Public Works that finished it off. I'm not sure,
Okay.
but, so that might have to happen again. But, we have given our recommendation and
Right.
indicated the question involved. So it
All right.
might behoove you to contact the city and find out
Have you-
if they've determined.
I have not.
Okay.
If they've determined if it's
Better.
the city's responsibility or Delmarva's or it's, we also were concerned that it might be, Del Dot, because that's a county road,
Mhm.
state road, I should say, yeah. And we were concerned that as a state road, we might not have authority to do anything with trees on the road.
But the
I wonder
one
if we
further
did-
down was removed.
Did we determine whether or not we had I don't think it ever actually, we ever actually came to that conclusion because that tree was gone and I thought that might, be the next one to go would be.
Right.
Anyway, that's where we are. We have sort of determined, and so now it's sort of city
For
responsibility.
them it is their responsibility.
One of the
Okay.
things that I've learned is, the tree commission, does not really take action. We make
Right.
recommendations to the city.
Right.
And then the city can accept our recommendations or act on them or not, or get additional information, it's,
Okay,
all of them moves to their.
Are they required to give a response?
Yeah, no, they don't
No, but
report to us.
we actually brought this question to the city council,
Mhm.
or not, was it the city council or was it just Antonina?
Well,
and-
the city
The
administrator.
city administration.
Okay.
And they provided us with extra funds to take care of that. So that there was no formal, yes, we're gonna do it, but they obviously approved of us doing it because they gave us extra funds earmarked for
For tree removal.
tree removal, yeah,
Okay.
so. But so we have the money to take care of it, but we don't have the ability to call in anybody or anything like that. That's not us. We don't do that.
And if I did it and sent a bill, it would
You
not.
would probably be
work out.
arrested.
Thank you.
No, you can't,
Right,
you can't do that. It's just, you would have too much liability personally, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
So,
He doesn't mean physically him.
No,
He
no,
means
not-
hiring
oh, you
somebody.
mean,
Yeah.
hire somebody?
get somebody to do, it, yeah, and then
No, it
send
has-
us the bill.
It's a tree that's not owned by you, so you wouldn't be able to.
So you have the money
Right,
to,
everybody?
you have the money to pay for it, but you don't have anybody to do it. We have to call and get it.
No,
No, that's not
Or
true.
is that
the
not
tree
how I?
commission does not have the authority to get it removed. That's on the city administrator. who
Okay,
has the
got it.
Authority to hire
We-
somebody to remove it. Okay.
We passed the issue of all three applications to the city administrator,
Okay,
asking them to make a decision. And they made a decision to remove the tree at number 16.
okay,
The Delmarva Power and Light removed the tree at their expense, is my understanding. And that was arranged by the Director of Public Works, who reports to the city
Director of
administrator.
Public Works, okay,
Yeah, you're right. And Antonina Tantillo, the
okay.
Public Administrator, and the Director of Public Works, they're gonna make the decision on the other two applications.
Now,
Being
are we
Lynn
sure,
and the
one's
clients.
ours? Because when I
Yes.
came to the meeting, there was like, our form wasn't filled out or something, and there was and I want to make sure that we actually are on that list.
Guaranteed.
Okay,
The three applications, well, yours is number 2025-15, and it is one of the three applications.
okay,
And I think because of the wires, our Delmarva wires along that
Exactly.
west end or west side of Sixth Street, I think it has to be handled by Delmarva,
okay,
but through the Newcastle Public Works Department.
okay,
They were out there doing something on the other tree, and they dug up the road, and they dug up the sidewalk in front of my house, but I think it was for electrical for the house next door. It wasn't anything to do with plumbing. So that there
I'm not
has
sure
been
what
some
their
work
position
done.
is.
Yeah, but
they
there's,
just left the sidewalk like that, and I'm like, is it our responsibility to then get somebody to put the
yeah,
concrete
nothing
in?
but gravel now.
No, that's the municipal services or public works department responsibility to repair the sidewalk.
Okay,
If they dug it up,
they did,
Yeah.
yeah.
it's not like it's tree root damage or,
Oh, it was over tree root damage.
They
but
are
yeah.
all damaged from tree roots, but they're, they just dug up to do the work they were doing, they were doing on the electrical. So,
Okay,
I think they're deciding them on a case by case basis. My best advice would be to check with city administrator.
okay,
awesome. Thank you, sir.
I'll present this send this to her, to the public administrator,
thank you.
city administrator. Making her aware of that, but I'm not sure what their position is on plumbing issues.
Well, I mean,
It's not not necessarily a tree commission item.
It's tree related, but it's
It's
not.
tree related and the tree is gonna keep growing and we're gonna keep having the same problem.
Yeah.
So,
Even once the plumbing's replaced, if the tree is not gone, they told me that the roots will go right back into it. There's no way to stop that because of the type of tree. it is.
Well, a document was sent to them, to the city on this issue. See if I can find the exact date. I don't know if you might have that, Alice, since you composed that.
I don't have it with me,
Oh.
but, yeah, we did, we sent, we outlined all, the pros and cons of taking down the trees. And, to be real honest, it was a close call because those trees are, sort of legacy trees and this tree is the only one that has, a tree canopy and
right,
a lot of people are sort of attached to those trees for that reason. But I think we made the decision to approve the removal because of questions like that.
yeah,
That these trees are still growing, they're still interfering with, plumbing and drains and all of that. And the question will continue to come up constantly
Yeah.
because of that. So that's the reason that it was a really hard decision because those trees are wonderful and they're beautiful and.
it would be an easy decision if you lived on that street.
Yes.
Pardon me?
For-
It'd be an easy decision if you lived on that street.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what people tell us, But we laid out the pros and cons and the city administrator and city administration decided that it was time to take care of those trees. So
Okay,
again, it's probably best that you just contact Antonina, the city administrator. She would know what the situation is. She's very good, so she's very familiar with this
Okay.
situation.
okay, great, thank you.
Thank you. So noted, Mr. Pavlicek, comments about 2025-15. We have other, people from the public, and we're handling public comments right now. And we welcome you to, speak if you would like. How about you, sir, in the middle with the black jacket?
You guys figure first.
Unless somebody would like to step up.
I will.
Okay.
Go.
Welcome.
You
Good
can talk,
interview.
you just speak from right there. if you like.
There's a sign-in sheet on the podium.
Yeah, I wanted to. I'm Neil Webster.
Oh, yes, you're referring to application number 2025-34. That's on the agenda tonight, Mr. Webster. And it's noted that you wanted the tree pruned that hangs over the front of your house. And we will be considering that in the next couple minutes.
Yeah, my comment is about. The tree's been there a long time. We've had 2 trees at one time.
Okay.
And they both died. And the city was gonna replant 2 trees. Well, we have 1. But this is about 30 years ago, so I assume I'm not gonna get the second. So the tree was putting pressure on the lines and everything, so I called public utility. They sent some guys out there and they did cut branches away from the line.
Mhm.
But if you come by and look at my tree, it now is like this.
And
Yeah.
really
There's
bad.
nothing in the center, the side. Now, the one side's leaning over the road, but the other side is much higher than the house now, eventually leaning over the house. And, the tree, I've been told the tree is not healthy, so it looks like that the trees, the branches, my house is vulnerable to branches breaking off and falling on the house. And there are still a couple tree branches that are pressing on wires, but I understand, I don't think they're electrical, I think they're probably cable or something. But that's the situation, so if you saw the pictures, it became a very unattractive tree from a fairly attractive tree when it was pruned, not pruned, but operated on in the middle of the day, so. Right.
Mr. Webster, when were you promised a replacement? When was the other tree taken down? Long time ago or a couple of years ago?
And I had no gray hair,
Okay.
how long, probably 30 years.
Oh, okay.
So I'm assuming that's, and the thing was, my wife talked about, she wanted a tree that would only grow about drain level at the top.
Yeah.
But obviously this is a overachiever because it's much higher. So that's my request, that it be pruned and make it something look more attractive, but also not be a risk to my house, my roof.
Okay, thank you for your comments. Does anybody have any questions? For Mr. Webster? Anybody on the commission?
Well, would we discuss it now or wait until the?
We could wait until we review the application in a minute or two, if you can wait, Mr. Webster.
All right.
Okay. 'Cause I did have a question or two, based on your comments. And we have another person with us this evening. Sir, would you like to care to address the commission?
Yes. Just want to sit here?
Sure, if you want to. Why don't you start by telling us your name?
Rod Miller, 124 East Third Street. This was about told it was a silver maple tree that was removed some months ago. I don't remember exactly when.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Miller. Welcome, and yeah, I think we have record of that being removed.
One of the worst trees in the city, by the way.
For that listed, Alice.
What's your address again?
The address
what's your
one
address?
twenty-four.
124 East Third.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how many months ago, but it was a while. In fact, while we're on that topic,
The application's pretty old, I think, as I recall. It was a long time getting removed, wasn't it?
yes,
Okay.
quite a long time. Funny thing was too, when they removed it, not that this matters, it's over and done with, but I let them know that I had a friend that would want the wood. I said, is there any problem, for you to cut it up in, reasonable, sections? And they said, oh, no problem, leave it out there. But they showed up, they didn't tell me. I said, give me a heads up so I can let him know, because we can't leave wood out the sidewalk for weeks. But they never did. And a neighbor called me the morning that they were out there. He said, hey, they're out cutting your tree down. I'm like, what? Because aren't they supposed to get with the city and block it off, or do they just?
Yeah,
thought-
usually they do put up the tape so that nobody's parking there.
Luckily, my friend saw it and he put me on the phone with him. I said, what's going on here? I expected to be let know. And they just said, oh, we just saw an opening. So, we took it. I said, okay, well, how about the wood? Oh, no problem. So luckily my friend was there and I was able to get wood, for another friend. Anyway, this situation with the stump, which was ground out, again, I'm losing track of time. Some weeks ago, I don't know, it might have been a couple months by now, I don't remember. It's gonna be resolved soon enough, but the problem was, again, they didn't I don't remember them letting me know about it. I was told that there was that they put up the tape, but that could be true, but I really don't remember. But anyway, I just came up one day, it was gone and they left a big pile of dirt behind. And I was never instructed, as to what the next step was. So I just waited, waited. And, then the dirt grew grass like crazy. And it got to the point of being embarrassing, but I didn't know what to do. I was talking to the neighbors about it. Said, am I supposed to take care of this? Because, he's going to have to come out, and lay brick down because they can't plant a new tree, where the old one was. So all that, is going to have to be, bricked over. So we finally got rid of the grass, so that we didn't have that to look at. But then we had a big pile of dirt. And I eventually called up the city, said, were they supposed to have taken this away? I mean, I don't know what the procedure is. And they said, usually they do. And I'm like, well, there's a lot of dirt out there. So I didn't want things to get delayed, with the cold weather coming up. So I just went out there with a shovel and loaded up a couple of trash cans, and they were heavy.
Yeah.
I couldn't lift them.
Mhm.
I had to leave them out there, and I called, the trolley barn, I guess.
Uh-huh.
They know who I am. They know my phone number. And as soon as I call them up, Mr. Miller, how are you? So anyway, they came out and got those. But there's still a lot of dirt there, probably too much, for him to deal with when he's laying the new brick. So I filled up another can. I just kind of evened it out. You know what I mean? I got as much of the dirt out of there as I could. But when I'm digging it up, I get a clunk. And what is this? They didn't grind the whole stump out, right? So I didn't know who to call. I called a few people and they said, okay, we'll put the word out. So again, without letting me know, they just showed up one day. I came home and I could see, that they had, had gotten rid of it. So I'm like, okay, well, at least that's taken care of. Well, he's out there today, right? Down on his hands and knees, doing the great job he always does. And guess what? There's like 2 or 3 more places of roots and stumps that they didn't get. Now, I couldn't see it because, it was all covered up with dirt. Some of it, in fairness, was covered up, by the brick. But shouldn't those guys, isn't that something, for them to look at? Because it's pretty significant. There's no way he can put the brick down. No way he did as much as he could, but they're going to have to come out again. So anyway, I've already told that story to this gentleman here, but I was told to come out again, just to repeat my story for the 4th time today. So I'm just curious as to how that whole, process is supposed to work. I mean, it's going to be all resolved, soon enough, but it was a hazard. Now, luckily they got some orange cones out there now, but they didn't put them out before. And that first stump, the one that, that I found, you gotta hurt yourself tripping on that. And we just had Halloween and I had to keep a close eye, to make sure kids weren't running through it, which a couple of them, did. But by that time that was already gone. So I didn't worry that much about it. I didn't realize there were like, 2 or 3 more, pretty significant, pieces of that, stump still in the ground. So
Well, I'll make a note of that, that after, two grindings, there are still,
Well, yeah, the initial one, of course, and then they had to come back, but they didn't catch all the rest of it. And I don't know anything about the grinding out stumps, but I don't know, it just seems to me that they would have, done a little more excavating. And I'm not sure, are they responsible, to remove any bricks at all or a certain amount of them? I mean, I just don't know how far, their responsibility, goes with that. And I think
Yeah.
it's an important issue to bring up.
yeah, it's kind of a gray area. I guess until they remove bricks, they don't know, how extensive the stump is. They can only grind at the area where the bricks are removed. So it's understandable that roots can remain, under the bricks. Who knows, they might go all the way, they could extend for many feet. And, it's probably not practical to take up a whole sidewalk.
No.
Um,
That wouldn't have been necessary. I mean, there wasn't that much more brick that covered them, let's put it that way.
Okay.
Maybe just a small amount. But I mean, I found one, just digging. If I'd continued to dig, which I didn't, because I didn't know how necessary it was, he just told me I'd get as much out of it, get as much dirt removed as you can. But I mean, had I, kept digging, I mean, I would have found at least, one or two of them. So I'm just wondering why didn't they do that,
I can't answer that question.
No.
We're not present when, when it's done. The city arranges with a contractor to have the stumps ground. And I'm not sure if Public Works has a representative on site when that happens. Or,
That's what it sounds like needs to happen, but that's not our
You know,
department.
something I'm thinking is when, I know that you notify applicants when actions are taken on their application. Maybe at that time, we could let them know that if they have any further questions, to contact the city administration, because it's really, once we make a recommendation, we don't have any further hold.
yeah, this application goes back to 2024. So I wasn't aware. I mean, I think I was aware that it had been approved.
For the tree removal you're talking.
Yeah, the tree removal. I mean, it had been approved, but we didn't have any record of when it got done.
Exactly, yeah. We're just not involved once approval is.
There were some previous requests, but that's a whole nother story that went back
Right.
years before. And some branches had fallen, and done damage some cars. And some more trimming, was done, so it's
Yeah, it took a long time to have it taken out.
good riddance to this tree.
I recall that. Is the space, I mean, you've talked to, the man working on the sidewalk. Is there enough room now to dig a hole to plant another tree?
Well, he's not putting it there. He's gonna put it like as you're facing the road to the left of that. He's just gonna brick in that area, but no, he's gone as far as he can go without those stumps, being removed, so.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to come out again.
Well, we could, I think it would probably behoove you to contact the city about that. I mean, the trees removed, I could put it in our, my report. It could be part of the record that you, believe that more grinding needs to be done on the stump. That could be, put into the record and passed on to Public Works Department following our monthly meeting. But that'd be up to them to contact you. Could ask them to do that. If they intend to come out and grind it again. But it sounds like it's another location. It's almost like you need grinding done in another location where he's attempting to.
No,
put in-
no, it's all within, whatever you call it, the footprint of that tree. It's
So
all.
the tree pit is gonna be moved.
I don't think the tree pit has to be moved at all times, right?
I don't know if it does or not. I'm pretty sure that's what he told me, but.
Oh, well, if he
I'm
told
not
you
sure.
that, then-
He may have a different
No, you're probably right. Then,
bricking over the whole thing, or is he continuing to have a place to plant a tree?
I was under the assumption he's bricking over the whole thing, and then it's just gonna be a little bit, as I said, like, to the left of that.
okay.
But whether or not he's got another idea, I don't know, but, I'm told by him, he can't do any more, without that being ground out.
When the tree in front of our house was taken down and the pit was ground, we were told that even though the pit is ground, you can't get out every root, and so it's not practical to replant in the same location. A new tree won't thrive in that location. You have to plant a new tree a few feet away.
Okay.
But it sounds like in an effort
That's
to
kind of
do
what I
that,
thought.
they're running into more roots.
Well, it's only a couple of them. I mean, I don't, I can't imagine it taking them that long, to do it. So, and it's just a matter of getting it out enough to.
Well, the city doesn't do the root grinding, right? It's, subcontracted out, I think, to a company. And, it's not like they're, in town.
Well, let me just ask you this, okay? Because again, we could have known this, weeks and weeks ago. But I mean, was I wrong to just, because I wasn't told what to do. I just waited, while that grass grew. And then after we got rid of the grass, that I never saw so much dirt, really. I don't know where it all came from.
Well, it's mostly grindings from the stone,
Yeah,
wood grindings,
a lot of it was, but still.
mixed with the dirt. of course.
But so I asked the guy with the city, I said, do they usually remove that? I mean, because I just assumed that they would. I didn't know what to expect. And he said, yeah, usually. And I said, okay, that's what I volunteered. I said, okay, look, I'm just going to shovel it up. Can you guys come get it? So I did, but is that what people usually do? They just sit back and wait? And because it was a mess, and as I said, if I'd continued to dig, I would have eventually found, what he found today. So I don't know if this happens ordinarily, if this is an unusual case. And
Ron, again, all the questions you're asking are questions for the city administration. All we do is make recommendations to the city on removing or pruning or planting trees. And once we
Okay.
make that recommendation, we don't have any further involvement in the process. So you have good questions, but this is not the group to answer them.
right, okay, but at least you know about it. So
Yeah, we do now. It'll be part of the record.
I'll call the city and I'll ask them, because again, I'm just saying, a lot of this time could have been saved, a lot of this could have been, had I been told, right? Like I said, I wasn't even told that they were coming to cut the tree down. And then when they came out on the second request to remove that piece of stump, that I found, I wasn't told when they just showed up. I came home one day, oh, looks like they were here. So so the city would be able to tell me, oh, yes, you were responsible to clean all that up. Or no, they should have done it and they must have forgot. I'm just saying, a lot of time was wasted by me just sitting back, waiting, so.
I would agree. There is a lack of communication on that. And it is kind of a gray area as to who's responsible for kind of remediating the sidewalk after the stump comes out. Those are all legitimate
Yeah, I was
questions.
telling him today, I come from a town in South Jersey, which I'm sure it's like this in a lot of towns over there, where, they would remove a tree, for good cause. And I had a tree removed that was, falling down. And then it was up to me to have the stump ground that removed, which I did. So then I had a separate, party to deal with to remove it and to clean it all up, which they did. So, but then I find that and because I was curious about that whole process when I first moved here and I started to, request that tree be removed. I said, I'll be happy to plant a proper tree and do it. I just assumed that it worked the same way, but then I found out, no, it doesn't. And the city takes care of all of it, right? Once you guys determine the tree is hazardous or whatever, it needs to be removed, you go ahead and do it. And then the same with the stump. So I'm like, okay, that's fine with me. But then this happened, so.
Well, that's kind of as far as it goes, is the stump being ground out. And then it's kind of falls to the resident at that point. There is a volunteer who's, repairing, remediating sidewalks.
Which is wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a godsend. But that's a volunteer effort rather than a city,
Right.
city duty. as far as I know, I could be wrong. But again, it's not, that would be a question for city administrator and public works director as to how they, think the sidewalk should be remediated. I think,
That sounds
Yeah.
the right
In
direction.
any case, it's not really our bailiwick, is it? We don't really know it, so.
I sympathize with the lack of communication, frustration of the phone calls and the uncertainty as to, what's gonna happen. Will they come second time, third time? And the fact that there's no notification as to when. I can sympathize with that.
All right, no problem.
So that's what I would not contact the city administrator.
Well, and I'm sure it's gonna get resolved, but I just thought it's, I was advised to come and bring this up, so I did.
Okay. We'll include it in our agenda, our report on the agenda also.
Right,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. Unless there are any further public comments, we'll move on to the new applications under consideration in November. Then the first one is Mr. Webster's, application 2025-34. Mr. Webster resides at 917 Clayton Street, and as we've heard, he is requesting that the tree be pruned. And we received your application, permit for, let's see, free work permit application. And some of us, at least I have looked at the tree and noted what you said, that it was cut in the middle so that the wires could run through the tree, and kind of changes the symmetry of the tree. But I guess I wanted to ask you about why you thought the tree was unhealthy.
Well, all the bark had fallen off of it. At the trunk,
Uh-huh.
it's been a process, and I talked with a friend who is, works in this business, and he told me that he thought the tree was unhealthy.
It doesn't really look unhealthy, does it? It's weird looking.
I think it's
Just like that, like you said.
It's a Zelco.
Well, it
They have
looks strange to do
flaky
it.
bark.
You're right, it,
It may be the type of tree it is, has flaky bark. I'd take a closer look at it. I'd have to drive past your house. I know where you live there in Shawtown.
It
I'll
is,
take a look.
it does go on your house quite a bit, though. That's true. And if that's what you're talking about, I think it's legitimate to trim it. Now, I don't know if they can trim it on both sides, so at least it's the same, it's a little bit of symmetry there. I don't know, but it's a strange looking tree right now. It's sad. Cause it's,
So it doesn't look like this anymore.
No, it does.
no, it doesn't. Well, you don't see the middle of it at that one, that way.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a little section cut out for the wires
Yeah.
to run
it
through.
turned out to be a much larger tree than we anticipated, not that, and it was attractive, I have to admit, when you buy it. It just looked a little strange on it. It was hard for me to imagine how someone thought that there would be two trees that could have been planted in that spot. Cause it's not a large spot.
Yeah, it's gotten pretty big. You said it's probably 30 years old.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, that looks like something that could be that old. We use a checklist that we go out when we go out and look at the tree. And some of us have completed that. You want to make any comments, Art, about your assessment?
I see it does go over the road, so yeah, I definitely think it should be pruned off the road, for sure.
Okay. I thought the tree looked healthy. That was my assessment, that it was a healthy looking tree. Let's see, didn't seem to have any infection. It asked if, we ask if a third or more of the tree is damaged or either due to storm damage or severe trimming. And I said no, that I didn't think, more than a third was. Basically, and I also thought that the tree does hang against part of the building, overhangs the roof. But that's the only thing I saw with it. And I thought it should be approved for pruning.
I would agree.
Any other comments?
No, I totally agree with you. So I make a motion that we approve the application for trimming of the tree at 917. Is it 917 Clayton?
Yes, 917.
Yeah, 917 Clayton Street.
I second the motion. All in favor? Okay, let the record show that we approve the pruning of, tree at 917 Clayton Street to remove branches from above the roof. That's our recommendation.
Okay.
How the city public works acts is their determination. But our recommendation will be to them, but it will change the shape of the tree though. Mr. Webster, you know, it's gotta be, you know, it kind of goes like this. And if they cut the tree limbs off, some of the limbs off along the have the house to clear the house, it's gonna change the shape, but
It actually, that happened before. This is not the first trim for this tree.
Yeah.
This tree was, maybe 5 to 7 years ago. I reported to the city, they came out and trimmed all the branches away from the side of the house. And
You came back.
they've grown back.
Came back, you know, they grew back over and even much more
Hmm.
open than they were before. So,
Mr. Lear, have you seen the tree by chance? Happen to go by there?
It's a zoophobia.
Okay.
So the bark on that peels, it's like a sycamore,
Yeah.
so it's a healthy tree.
Okay. Yeah, the law is determined, the bark peeling, certain trees, the bark will peel off, doesn't mean it's unhealthy.
okay. I'm not a tree expert, someone was telling me.
Yeah.
People tell me they know what they're talking about, I take it, okay.
Right.
The gap that you're talking about, there's actually a phrase for that, it's called tunneling. You know, your branches have basically a tunnel going through for the wire, and it's a tree that was just. We now know that a shorter variety should have been planted there. And that's where we've learned over the last 30 years. But I guess we'll see you back in another 5 years with another request to trim a branch that
It's
is.
sort of remarkable that many wires could end up in one tree.
Yes.
Cause I guess because of the, where the housing is there.
They run the whole length of the street. On every street.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty common. I mean, if you go around and look at trees on other streets, it's pretty common way that municipal services keeps the wires clear. Is to cut a tunnel.
I think every tree that was originally planted on Clayton Street, at least from the corner to down where I live, has been replaced. I don't think there was any original trees there.
Yeah, I know they cut some across the street recently.
Yeah,
This
a couple
year.
of those, yeah.
Several across from, pretty close to, almost directly across from your house. And I noticed there aren't a lot of trees on either side. I'm not sure how the trees got cut on the other side. I don't remember those applications ever coming before us. In the 900 block of Clayton Street. But that'll be our recommendation that they prune it for you.
Right.
I'm not sure that they'll notify you, but they probably would put up a caution tape in front of your house so that when they plan to come like the following day, that it'll be clear for the truck.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Okay, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Okay, we did vote on that, right?
Yeah.
Yes, we did. All right, so let's see, where are we on the? We have application 2025-35 for Mrs. Hurd on Vault Avenue. She has a tree that she wants removed and replaced.
Question I have is this a city tree? Because it's on the side of her house and there's no sidewalk there.
Really?
So I didn't know whether that was our responsibility or not.
You have any idea about that, Milt? About that?
I did not.
I actually mentioned it. It's one of two trees. So this one is next to her pergola, or I'm sorry, gazebo. Her gazebo's in the backyard. The tree is outside what I assume is the property line where the cyclone fence is.
Yeah.
So I would assume that that's city property, but I sure don't know.
Well, we could make a motion to approve pending verification that it's a city tree.
I looked at it. I mean, yeah, we can. Any other comments about it?
Yeah, I agree. It's pretty in bad shape. It's a nicely shaped tree, but it's
Dead.
not
Red bud.
good, yeah.
It looks like it's suffering.
If it is a city tree. So that cyclone fence, you think, so that's our responsibility, even if there's no sidewalk there? I thought that the sidewalk sort of made it our responsibility. And if there's no sidewalk, it's part of the property, but that is just an assumption I made. I don't know that for a fact. So,
It's,
you know,
The address is 113 Bolt Avenue, but the tree is on
it's around
12th
the
Street.
corner, yeah.
Yeah, it's on 12th Street.
It looks like, well, this is a third party app, but it kind of looks like her property line. The red area. The trees are outside of it, but
Okay.
you know,
What
there's
is that,
not,
is that,
it's
are
a-
you saying it is her property or? It's
no,
not?
it's not, from this app, but I don't know if this is the county tax I think it goes off the county tax maps. Art's pretty good at looking that up. This is, you get a chance to do
I
that.
mean, I can look it up and I've got you. No,
It appears to be that fence, this fence line is her property line.
Okay,
Yeah,
So it should, so
I think,
given that, it's probably a city
I
responsibility.
think it is,
Mhm.
yeah.
okay, then I second the motion.
I mean, it looks like the other tree, did we have a motion? I'm sorry.
Another tree.
I was just suggesting it. Let me.
Oh, I
that
thought you-
we
I thought you were
approve
moving it.
removal and replacement of the tree pending verification that it is a city tree.
Okay.
A second. How do we verify that?
That would be up to the city.
Okay,
Sounds good to me.
Okay, all in favor?
on the application, she didn't mention anything about removal, she just said,
yes, removal and
replacement,
replace.
just removal, she didn't mention anything about replacement on her application. I don't know if she wants that.
You mean her application doesn't?
Removal and replacement.
Yes, she checked, but she didn't put. Be planted.
Yeah, I've seen people do that when they just don't know what plant.
I mean, maybe we should ask her just to be sure, you know?
You know, it's interesting because I just went through this list of, properties where we had a removal and replace and also just planting request. And often we say yes to the removal and we say nothing about the replace. And so I assume when we say removal and the application is removal and replace, that the replace is sort of implied. So that if it's not, a lot of these people are not gonna be on this list because often we just say approved for the removal without saying replace. So I just wanted you to know that when we're talking about this
When we get to
particular.
that issue, okay. Okay, so there's a motion brought to before the board, before the commission and seconded to remove and replace the tree.
Pending.
That's our recommendation,
Verification that it's.
that it's on city
tree.
property.
Right.
A second.
All in
I think
favor?
voted in second.
Oh, it is.
Right.
Aye.
Aye.
So the commission recommends removing and replacing the tree pending verification that it is a city tree on city property.
And I'll check that out with my maps.
Okay.
Okay, moving along. I don't know if Alice has anything about the budget report, has
Yeah.
anything comment on budget?
Yeah, this is from Diane Delgado. In October, we paid Carl Miller Landscaping for trees and the meeting security. The security is what we pay the police, but Carl Miller is the company that planted all those trees that last month, right? Or month and a half ago, whatever that was. The total was $2,259.92. So the current balance is $32,740.65. I'm gonna hand this to you, Erica, so you know, you have that, you don't have to write it down or anything. So that's where we are. We still have $32,000 left and, so thinking about what we will do with that budget beyond taking down the trees on Sixth Street if we need to, if that's on our budget. This list of trees that we promised over the last 2 years, what I did was I looked at all of the trees that were requested, and then I looked to see what the outcome was. And as I said, many of them were just we just approved the removal without I just assumed that we were gonna replace them too, since that was the application. And then I drove around to see, there were maybe 5 or 6 extra ones that I drove around and I saw that they had actually been replaced. So these are all the ones that I think are left that we have committed through an application. I think there are others that maybe we said we want to put them here or there. But I just went through the application for them. And the first 2 on Clayton and Casimir are quite old. And as a matter of fact, on Casimir, I couldn't tell where we had taken down the tree. I guess it's been a couple of years since we even, since we took it down. If we took it, I assume we took it down because it's not there. So that's those 2. They would probably be surprised if we planted in front of their houses. But the others are pretty new, over the last year and a half. So including the one we did last, was one 39 West 3rd. That was the one in front of the new homes there. Remember, and then the one on the next block. And I put them into the streets so that if we wanted to do something that was consistent along the street, we'd know that where they were. Anyway, so that's my report.
Thank you for the list.
Mhm.
Can we go back to the budget for a second?
Yeah.
You said the invoice of 2259 to Miller for planting.
Right. Well, no, that included the security as well.
Okay,
I don't know how much that was. It's always a mystery.
I have a really stupid question. Do we ever get a written budget report?
No, well, no, except in the sense that when I asked Diane, she sends back what I just read, that kind of thing.
No, but we don't get like a printout showing the tax section of the city budget.
I did last year because we had to separate it into 2. Last year, we decided we were gonna spend half of it on trees and half of it on maintenance. And it turned out our maintenance didn't take up half, so we had to move it over. So this year, I've just gone to the bottom line. But are you looking to see how much we spend on particular things? Is that what you're thinking of?
Right, I can't keep in my head, over the course of the year, where's our money going? How much is being spent on planning? How much is being spent on watering, whatever? And, I appreciate the numbers that you share at each meeting, but it would help me to see like
I can
year
do
to
that.
date and then anything.
I can do that. I'll talk to
projected.
Diane about what we've done so far this year. It's we're not too far into the year, so it shouldn't be that difficult. And then I'll just do it from there on.
Great. Great.
okay, so I wanted to ask you still about this 2259. I understand that some of it is security here
Right.
at the building. That's probably about $150. So this payment for the planting is in addition to the invoice for the trees. I guess I would want to verify that with Diane.
Yes,
Because we paid Carl Miller Landscaping. We didn't, and he doesn't have anything to do with the cost of the
Gateway.
trees.
Okay.
So,
So our tree, if we look at the invoice for trees for $4,067.
that apparently has not been paid yet. Is that right?
Oh, it should have been.
Huh?
It was presented to, Gateway presented that to Diane. And she said that it would be taken care of
Well, I'm
promptly.
sure it will be.
So I wasn't aware of the second invoice.
Yeah,
Through
no,
Miller.
we always get charged for the people who plant the trees.
Okay. That's quite fair. I mean, understandable. I just wasn't aware. So that changes the price of the trees per tree
Mm,
considerably.
mm, Yeah.
Um,
yeah,
We have a person who received a tree and he's supposed to be paying for it himself.
Mr. Whitehead?
No, actually, Mr. Lorenz,
Oh,
out at the end of Harmony Street by the river.
oh,
And when I divided the cost of the trees by the total and came up with the fact that he should pay $312.89 for the Red Point maple. Because we approved the planting of a tree at his expense, and I notified him about that.
so did we plant the tree or did he? I thought he had done it, no?
No,
Oh,
the tree came through Gateway, and I assume it was planted by the Miller Group. So that changes, that changes the
Okay.
picture a little bit. So, and that's another thing, I was thinking, like you said, what is our cost I remember Ron saying one time our cost per tree was about $350, which was pretty much in line with what I just talked about. But this changes the
Yeah, that $350 would be the cost of a tree. I
tree,
know,
right?
'cause I,
And transportation,
right.
freight and the tree. Okay. So that would be good to have more itemized, if that's possible. Okay,
I'm not gonna be here next month though, so it will be in January that I can put that together for you, unless somebody wants to. No, no, that's all right. I wanted to mention one thing. On Friday, I was part of the group, well, and Ed was too, that planted 15 trees at the end of Chestnut Street when it meets
Yeah, I
with
saw
Ford.
that.
Yeah, and there, I think right there, they're white oak and magnolia. And they put them around the perimeter, and
Yeah.
the dog park is going to be right there, so.
That's where they're putting it? the
Yeah,
dog
so they'll
park?
be around the dog park. Also 8 trees in Susie Park. I believe they might be cherries. But anyway, because Anthony had told me that she was given the option of, she was given money and she was told to buy them. So she bought white oak and
you know-
magnolia and cherry.
So that looked great, but you know, I was driving out and when I noticed, I thought the red buds and some of the oaks should be switched because the white oaks, I think, are planted where they're getting to the wires. Did you see that
I
along?
didn't even think of that.
Yeah, so the red buds should be, there's 2 trees, they should be.
Are they
swapped.
wires, are wires that close in to the?
You know, those white oaks are gonna get,
We'll mention that.
so you might wanna switch the red buds.
So there are red buds there too. I only saw white oak and.
Cause the red buds are by the, what is that, the Delmarva little power station
Yeah,
brick building?
oh, right.
They're
yeah.
like in front of it.
Yeah.
I would switch. But I don't know if it's too
Okay.
late or not.
yeah, they're there.
Are they in there?
They're there.
Because-
They use the backhoe to dig the holes.
Yeah,
We back.
You know, but they're still got they're still in a.
are they still in the root ball?
Well, there wasn't a root ball.
They
they
were,
were-
they were containers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it may be too late, but yeah,
There's also at least 11, perhaps more trees that have been planted by the trustees in the Battery Park.
those look
So,
really nice.
yeah, so, you know, it's
Red maples, I saw the red
Yeah.
maples.
Yeah, they're all- I think
different ones.
there might be a couple that are not, but they're not on the
Pathway.
shore. Yeah, but I forget what I was gonna say, which is not surprising.
No, you were saying,
The comment was made at one time that it would be advantageous if the city notified the tree commission and got some input before they planted. Well, when we went down there, the trees were all set in place and the work was underway. And I don't know who made the decision, but
yeah,
your point's well taken, and it would be nice to have heard that
I gotta
if they
say,
consulted with somebody.
yeah, well, I think we planted it during the week and I worked. It was during the week, right?
Oh, yeah, it was Friday, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, this was all well arranged in advance
yeah,
because Antonina sent out a notice, you
yeah,
know, inviting.
I saw that, yeah.
But anyway, that was part of a grant for trees for every Delawarean initiative, TEDI. So,
yeah, they were not allowed to be street trees.
right.
They had to be in open spaces, so.
On the same subject, Diane Delgado needed some information about for the city tree application. City tree, is that the right designation? For Newcastle City Tree, Tree City, I have it reversed, Tree City application. And we went through, I contacted Ron and gathered some numbers, and we gave Diane the number of 32 trees planted in 2025 between the spring and the fall, and 800 volunteer hours planting those trees and building tree pits, maintaining tree pits. So just for the record. In fact, I'll leave that out to everybody. We don't really have any agenda items that were comments. I was remiss in getting back to Marika before she sent out the agenda. So if you notice on the bottom of the agenda, there are no items for commission discussion.
Before you move on, I have a question about your list of trees that you promised. I know that on Delaware Street, a decision was made to plant the same kind of trees on each block and make each block different. As we plant on the side streets, is there a similar plan or is it just kind of,
I don't think
Whatever's
there's ever been a plan like that, but, we
and then
certainly
should there
could.
be one or should we just?
Well, the thing is, though, there has been multiple trees planted together on certain blocks.
Mhm.
And they're on the same street, but whether that has to be carried down, I don't really know. You know, I guess it depends on the location, if it gets sun, I don't know, something like that. Does that ever come into it? Norm, with whether or not it gets sun
In
and
some
stuff like that?
cases, yes.
So, I mean, it would be nice if we're like close to have those trees be similar, but I don't know of any plan that we've ever had for that, you
Yeah,
know.
there's a general plan to have similar trees. Like on Delaware Street, there are similar trees, same tree in a row.
And that's where I was wondering if that kind of approach has ever been considered for the side streets. And I understand what you mean, because like on a lot of streets, there's wires on one side and not on the other side, so you have to have short trees on one side and could have bigger, but they could still be compatible, and what I'm thinking now is, over the last few years on my block, quite a few trees have been planted and it doesn't seem to have any plan, and it's kind of a hodgepodge, which doesn't bother me, but I just wanted to raise it. That was something that.
It's usually what the homeowner requests.
Yeah, sometimes.
I mean, you requested summer towers.
Right. And
Well, then-
nobody said, no, that's not part of the plan for that block. We want.
No, and,
But just because you're not really planning, like Delaware Street, there was hardly anything there, so it was,
Mhm.
that was the goal. Like your street and now your street, there's trees there. In that case, it's really like what the homeowner wants.
And I'm not complaining at all, but I was just wondering if there was any vision for over time trying to get them more uniform.
I think when the opportunity presents itself, then you go for a same species, an alleyway, or to try to.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
really, between Fifth and Sixth and Sixth and Seventh, where the trees are all the same. So it's City Sprite between Sixth and Seventh, it's amyl anchors between Fifth and Sixth.
Right.
Then, until you get down to the square, there's like 3 Parodias, there's 3 Fireburst. You know, there's, that's how it is.
Right.
And then on side streets, like you said, more like,
It's usually what the homeowners are looking for.
we're putting in what's available. Sometimes.
Sometimes, but usually what the homeowners,
I mean, when we plant some trees in the spring, that from the greenhouse garden, they're gonna be trees that what's available. You know, they
Yeah.
need to be planted rather than kept there. A little bit off the subject, we did order 6 replacement trees for Delaware Street. For the spring. And the two trees on Sixth Street that died.
Mhm.
We ordered 2 of those trees.
So we're poisoned?
Well,
Allegedly.
Allegedly, I know, legally, we can only say it allegedly.
Yeah, we ordered 2 to replace those and I think 4 of the 6 on Delaware Street. After
Right, those are the
consulting,
ones that got
yeah, they got slash
yeah,
cut.
great,
Yeah.
okay. Well, we did say that last month, didn't we, that we would do that, so.
Anyway, these things could be reviewed next month, or I guess we've already touched on invoice costs, replacement trees, Alice's new tree request list. I have some others that I would add to this list that I've worked with Ron on.
That we're not an application,
Right.
yeah,
Well,
I
more of the West Side 5-year plan kind
right,
of thing.
right, but not a commitment that we've made to be based on an application.
No, although we've talked to some homeowners.
Yeah.
About getting permission.
Yeah.
So I think before we meet this obligation, we should look at a comprehensive list. Maybe further, we might want to add to this.
I wouldn't know what to add only because I have not had those conversations. I
Okay.
mean, you can obviously add whatever you want there.
And some may be misunderstood. Like you said, that the application said prune and replace or remove and replace. It may not be an appropriate location, or it may already have been planted and we're not.
No,
aware
it's
of it.
not been planted because I drove around to every
Okay.
location.
Okay.
Now, there was one that I kept off there that was 17 West Fourth. I believe that's the woman who had the, the horse thing, whatever. you
Yeah,
call
she
it.
didn't wanna.
She
doesn't want to take
decided
it.
not to have a tree, right? That's why I took that off, yeah.
All right, are there any further comments?
Pitching post.
Pitching.
Yeah, just thought that.
Oh, thank you very much. I'd have to Google that later.
So looking at the agenda for tonight, we've covered the items on the agenda, and I guess would ask the commission members if there are any further comments or. We have a number of subjects I will put on the agenda for next month so that they're printed here. And we can, about your planting, you're talking about establishing a more concrete planting plan, more consistency.
I was also struck when we were talking about Clayton Street that, there aren't a lot of trees there, and I know that we said that our priority and our plan is to focus on the west side of town. I don't know the priorities for Shawtown, which is the west side of town, so I don't know which streets within the west side are planning priorities.
Right.
It's the numbered streets.
Yeah, and basically started to the river and has been moving
Okay,
in that direction. But that doesn't mean that it's necessarily printed for its policy.
right.
Maybe it should be mixed up a little, more diversified
Mm-hmm.
rather than some areas waiting for years and years. Well, I'll make sure that I make a report to the city administrator following the meeting this week and mention who was here at the meeting and what their concerns were. Mr. Pavlicek and his plumbing estimate. Mr. Webster, obviously, will deal with the 2 applications that were approved. And I'll note that Mr. Miller was here about the sidewalk. And we still, I think, need some clarification on who's cleans up the grindings from the tree pits.
It's usually in the contract.
People want to know. I mean, that's what he
I mean,
wanted, he
when
wanted
I-
answers on that.
Take a look at the contract. I've never seen a contract, so.
Yeah, usually,
Is it contract renewed or is it an ongoing? Yeah, just.
I have no idea,
I
but
would
I mean, just
Diane would probably know.
when tree stumps are ground, unless the homeowner says they'll keep it, the grindings are removed to at least level. Right. But he was talking about roots. Nobody's ever gonna grind roots like he's looking for.
The whole width of the sidewalk,
Yeah.
probably. That's not gonna happen. Milt did send me pictures of, 5 stumps were ground this past month. And some of them have large piles of grindings,
They weren't cleaned up.
that aren't cleaned up and,
It should be like flush with the sidewalk, I would imagine, and then swept up and blown off,
Jean Marie Kamak cleaned hers up on Third Street,
Yeah,
near the driveway going
Right.
behind the bank.
she did that?
Well, I assume she did.
Okay.
But there are others that are months old, like at Fourth and Harmony. Stump was ground after a couple years, practically.
Yeah, still
And,
lots of
There's
debris.
lots of debris there.
Mhm.
And also on Market Street, they took the stump out between the sheriff's office and the arsenal. And that has a lot of debris still there. on the-
There's
on the
one a
grade.
couple doors down from me that's at least 6 months, maybe longer.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, to me, the homeowner should clean that up. You know, put it in bags, put it in the brown can.
But it's not their tree, so how do they know that? And I'm thinking the one by me, the property is a rental with an absentee landlord. So I'm not sure he or she would be aware that it's their responsibility to clean that up.
Well, that would be a good thing to put in a announcement somewhere, whether it's municipal services, city.
Well, let's see what, I don't know what the grinding, agreement says that they should clean it up. If they should
Yeah.
clean it up, then
Then they should clean
they
it
should
up.
clean it up.
Right, I agree. Yeah.
Be not, put it on the homeowner if they're
Right.
supposed to be getting it.
If they're getting paid for it.
Yeah, the guy who does this, I think it's one guy who does most of it, and he's a little, I don't know, he's a little loosey goosey. He doesn't do them right away, and then he does all of them all in a second, in the same day, and I don't know, he just,
No, I think there's a more consistent use of a vendor now, right?
do you have a new vendor?
It's the same vendor as far as I know.
Yeah, I think it is.
Oh, okay. It seemed like that more was getting done
I agree
on
with
those
that.
grindings,
Yeah.
but the cleanup is an issue. All right, I'll bring that up to Antonina in my report.
Okay.
And unless anybody has any further comments, I'll ask
Nope.
for a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
A second. This one was.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you all.
Hey,